When I'm coaching clients or I'm speaking in front of audiences, one of the questions that routinely comes up is, Kathryn, when you talk about beliefs are decisions and not every thought that you have is true, is sometimes the thoughts are absolutely untrue. How do I even know if a thought is a lie or it's untrue? Maybe it was once true and it's not true at all anymore. There's an easy way that you can determine that. And I learned that from the wonderful and talented gentleman who's also my mentor, David Bear. In full disclosure, I also am a contracted coach with David Bear's organization, as well as running my own coaching practice. So, the thing that I learned from David that absolutely flipped a switch in me was when you are having thoughts, instead of staying in your head about the thoughts, you check in with the body. And let's say you have a thought of money's hard to make. And I would invite you right now, say it out loud, and then ask yourself, what's going on in my body when I say that? Does my stomach get tight? Do the shoulders tense up? What's the reaction in my body? I can tell you what my reaction is when I say out loud, money's hard to make. I go like this. Internally, I feel myself go like this. And because I had that belief for a very long time, as well as some other ones that I've dealt with for a long time, the way that you know that's a lie is you say to yourself, okay, my body is telling me this when I feel that. What David teaches us is there's intelligent thinking and there's unintelligent thinking. And what I want to share with you is I'm not talking about the intellect type of intelligence. I'm talking about, for those of you maybe who are agnostic, maybe even atheist, or you're just agnostic about a faith practice in general, I call it it's from God or it's not from God. But intelligence means there was something bigger than us in this universe that we have the ability to tap into it, and it tells us what the truth is or what the truth is not. So the thoughts are from intelligence or they're from unintelligence. I would say nefarious fallen forces are trying to influence you. And that's what I talk about with my clients as well. But I want you to say the opposite. Money is easy to make. What does that feel like in your body? I can tell you what I feel like. I start to get this kind of like internal bubble that rises, and my brain starts to go, money is easy to make. What are some ways that I can sell a couple things right now on Facebook Marketplace? I just made some money. I could go do a few Uber runs and be a driver and do a few Uber runs and make some money. Am I going to make $1 million? No, but money's pretty darn easy to make. And once you recognize that something is a lie because your body will tell you the truth of it, you can say to yourself, if that's not true, what is true? And this is part of the process I walk my clients through to uncover what their limiting beliefs are, what their thought patterns are, what thoughts are true and what's not true, and how has that been driving them for the entirety of their lives. As you start to learn that ability of really questioning and Dr. Daniel Amen talks about this too, that not every thought that you have, he refers to them as ants, automatic negative thoughts. As you start to understand that your brain will just throw these up sometimes, there's certain reasons that happens. I don't really have time to go into it here, but there's certain reasons why that happens. And that's what we investigate when my clients come to me or when I'm doing workshops or retreats and speaking in front of audiences. So the next time you have a thought and you're walking around, check in with your body and what is your body telling you? Because I guarantee you, if you identify what am I thinking that's making my body feel like that, and you dig in and you get to the root of what the actual thought is, and then you ask yourself, is it even true? You can start to train yourself to do that almost on a default basis. And then every time you challenge these negative thoughts, most of the time they're not true at all. Once in a while they might be true. And then you go, why is that true? And you kind of walk yourself through that process. That is the absolute key to starting to transform your life and become the person God has created you to be. So I hope that was helpful for you. I usually get some really awesome feedback from people when I share that with him, and people shout out and tell me, some random thoughts that they're having. And we go step by step process of making new decisions, creating new thoughts, and finding the evidence for the truth of those. And it's like you just feel the energy of the room shift when we do that. So experiment with it, see how you do. I'd love to hear from you in the comments about it. Let me know how you identify if some thought is true or untrue, but this always works for me. The last thing I want to leave you with is I believe in you.